Alright, so now we're back to Module 6, Managing Apps in Windows 10. So these sections we're going to look at few topics: providing apps to users, managing universal Windows apps, web browsers in Windows 10. So these three topics we're going to look at. Providing apps to users. So these sections we have types of Windows 10 apps, methods for deploying desktop apps, installing desktop apps manually, installing desktop apps automatically, and Office 365. So these topics we're going to look at. Now, types of Windows 10 apps. We have desktop app installations, then Windows Store apps, universal Windows apps, remote apps, and application virtualization apps. So these days, many different applications types we have. So desktop apps, usually we download the .exe or .msi file. Generally, all the exe file, they are executable file. Like many different application provider, they build the applications and then they create a .exe installer file. So usually we download the exe file and then after that we install. So there are many different kind of exe file we have. And .msi file, MSI is a Microsoft installer files. .msi is Microsoft format. So only Microsoft has this .msi file types. Many different Microsoft applications, they came as like .msi files. So many different way we'll be able to deploy these applications, automated way or via some other tools, we'll be able to distribute the applications. Windows Store apps. Microsoft, we have a store, Windows Store, and we can download the apps from there as well. So this is same like if you're using the Apple iPhone or if you're using the Android, then you have a Google Play, right? You can download the applications from there. And Microsoft, we have a Windows Store. It's the same thing. Microsoft applications will be able to download from there. And universal Windows app means many applications which build for Windows machines, but those same applications can be used for other platform as well. That's why it's called universal Windows app. It different sort of like hardware you'll be able to install, like applications you can install inside your mobile phones, tablets, desktop, laptops, etc. So some applications, they may be running remotely, enables apps to run remotely but display locally. Enable apps to run on clients that do not meet the app hardware requirements. So basically remote app means you may have only the interface, with that you log into different applications. So apps is streamed to the desktop, enable multiple versions of apps to run without conflict. So applications can be run in as like a desktop, but multiple versions of apps you can have. This is the different kind of Windows applications types we have. So methods for deploying apps: manual installations, group policy, System Center Configuration Managers, Microsoft Intune. There's a few different options. Manual installation means you can download the exe file, then you can install, right? That's one kind of things we have. Group policy, with that you'll be able to deploy the applications as well. Manual installations, normally if I go to my download folder, I got like many different applications. See some of the applications. If I looked at here, this is one of the applications, right? Map setup. See, Microsoft maybe is not installed. So if you want to install these applications, welcome to the setup wizard for Microsoft Assessment and Planning Toolkit. Click next. Repair. Oh, so I already have installation, so I don't want to install it again, so I'll cancel this one. But simply if you want to install, you need to download. But if you see the next one, see deployment, Microsoft Deployment Toolkit, MDT. This is a Windows installer file. That means it's a .msi file. This is also, you just need to double click, and in this way you'll be able to run. Same like there are many different applications. This is another like things, media creation tools. If I go to properties, then you can see it's .exe, right? But if you go to Windows installer package, go to properties, you can see the .msi file. So manual installations performed by double clicking the files. Group policy. With the group policy, you can deploy the applications. Example, you have a servers and you have many different kind of client machines. From the servers, you'll be able to deploy the applications to many different client machines. That's another options we have from Microsoft servers. How to do that? The group policy. Okay. And System Center Configuration Manager, this is called SCCM. If you apply for some jobs and stuff, many different scenario you have looked at SCCM. System Center Configuration Managers. System Center is another product from Microsoft. With that, you can do software deployment, installations, monitoring the servers and stuff. So this kind of things can be done with the SCCM. This is another product from Microsoft. Especially the large organizations, they have this System Center. Small organizations, they don't have this one. Now Microsoft Intune. This is another services from Microsoft. This is a cloud-based services. From the cloud, you can deploy these applications. It's a cloud management applications, Microsoft Intune. This is, you need to get a separate subscriptions from Microsoft, then you'll be able to use this one. Like application deployment, applications updates, applications removed, all these things you can manage from Microsoft Intune. So virtualized applications, remote applications. So those things, remote and virtuals, both you can manage to remote computers. You can manage the applications, or you can create many applications. You can create the virtual instance as well, same like a virtual machines. And other options included in the image, like last week we talked about. Last week we have looked at the image. So when you have a Windows image, like this is your disk image file, okay? With that image file you can add some applications. This is like a small applications like a Google Chrome, Adobe Acrobat Reader, some or some script, some basic stuff you'll be able to add with this image. That's another option. So this is the multiple options we have in order to deploy the applications. So we used to use the manual installations in this way. If you have a DVD, if you just put the DVD and you double click, in this way you'll be able to install. But these days you don't have much DVD drive, especially in the laptop. Then with a USB stick you need to get the exe file and you need to run the exe file. So this is the details descriptions we have about desktop apps automatically installation method. Group policy leverages existing AD infrastructure, low complexity, requires domain join. Right, last week we have looked at how to join a computer to domain. Once you have a domain joined environment, and if you'd like to deploy any applications, you can deploy that one from group policy. But Microsoft Active Directory, from there the group policy supports only .msi file. If you have a exe file, you will not be able to deploy from group policy. MDT, light touch solutions, minimal infrastructure requirements, strictly for deployment, not a full management solutions. With that you can just deploy, but you can't do all the systems. SCCM, comprehensive management, zero touch solutions when combined with MDT, more complex to deploy and manage. Devices must be managed by organizations, does not support mobile operating systems, right? All these things, they're part of SCCM. Intune, so comprehensive management, low complexity, supports bring your own device and mobile operating systems. Cannot deploy operating systems, limited Win32 app deployment capabilities, not as robust as SCCM. With Intune, you can deploy some applications. For example, Apple Store or Google Store, we can download some apps, right? So some of the things you can manage from the App Store. Intune, it's a bit better than that, but you cannot do everything, but you can deploy some light applications. It's not like as robust as SCCM. SCCM, for the complex deployment environment, you can use SCCM. So these days, if you work for a company, you may find all of these options more or less. But SCCM these days, yeah, large company only they have, but Intune is getting popular. And group policy, if you have a domain environment, you can use the group policy. What is Office 365? Deployment options. Office 365, like click to run, group policy, configurations managers, application virtualizations, remote desktop services. With all these options, you can deploy the Office 365. So Office 365 is basically it contains Microsoft Office, Teams, all these applications. Like I have like this PowerPoint presentations. I have all this Microsoft. If I go here, I have all these Microsoft Office products. Office tools, right? I have Microsoft Teams is part of that. Office language preference, Skype for Business. But I have all these things such as Word, right? Excel, like that, many um, office products we have. So we need to download one of the exe file, and after that you need to this is called click to run. That means you click on that exe file, and in this way it will execute. So that exe file you can deploy with group policy or system center configuration managers, or application virtualizations, or with the remote desktop services. With all this way, all this method, you'll be able to deploy this one. Now, managing universal Windows app. So this section, we're going to look at Microsoft Store and Microsoft Store for Business, managing access to Microsoft Store, configuring assigned access to a single Microsoft Store app, sideloading universal Windows app, Windows platform apps. Microsoft Store and Microsoft Store for Business. Microsoft Stores we have in here. Just see, this is the Microsoft Store. Click here. This is the store. So you can use this store for all the Microsoft applications. There are many different applications. Home button, you can see there's many different applications. Top free apps, there are many different free apps we have. Free apps, some games, some collections we have, they are all free. But you have a gaming types of apps, right? They, many of them free, many of them they're selling, like this. Entertainment, many movies and films you can purchase from there. Yeah, this is same like your other stores. Apple, Google Play, they have many stuffs. Productivity, so this is more on business related. Deals. Yeah. So this is generally this is available for everyone, but we have another options called company stores. Like it depends, you can sign up with how you can sign up with your basic Microsoft account. That's one options, but you can add the company email address as well. If you add the company email address, then with this platform company can deploy the applications to their staff. Many company they using these things. So that means if you need some applications, you need to log in with your company email address. Once you logged in with your company email address, then you'll be able to download that applications. Okay, so this kind of options we have. Microsoft Store for Business is a portal that provides users access to corporate apps. Organizations must have an Azure AD tenant. That means you need to have a Azure AD for that. Apps can be purchased from the store for individuals or in volume for the organizations. Apps are only supported on Windows 10 devices. Organizations can house their line of business apps in a private store. Developers can upload or allowed to upload custom apps for your organizations. So that means we're talking about applications deployment. So from the Microsoft Store, you'll be able to deploy the applications as well.
What does that yellow be, please?
Line of business is kind of like a business, many different business applications. It's just like a word, line of business. Line of
Oh,
business.
yeah.
So managing access to Microsoft Store. User must sign in with a Microsoft account to download apps. Preventing access to Windows Store requires editing the registry or blocking Microsoft accounts. AppLocker can control installations and executions of certain apps from the Microsoft Store. App updates are installed automatically by default. Okay. App updates are installed automatically by default.
So we have to choose actually by default.
Automatic, if you have any applications in Microsoft Store, those applications, they will get update automatically. Like developer will manage those updates. But you can control who can access the Microsoft account, who cannot access. You can control those stuffs, either blocking the Microsoft account, or you can. We have one of the options from the group policy. This is called App Locker. App Locker means applications locker. The applications locker will be able to lock the applications. Configuring assigned access to a single store app. So from here you can control. From the settings we can go to assigned access, and then after that we can control who can access. We just need to add the account. So sideload apps, this is another options you have. This is under the update and security. We can see that Windows Store apps, sideloading apps. Sideloading apps means developer, they will be able to update their applications from there. So now if I go to my settings, if I go to apps, I can see how many applications I have. This is the applications I have and how much space they are taking. I can see in details. Okay, so I got many stuffs. There are many default applications.
What are the default applications?
A default application means, for example, suddenly you want to send email.
Yeah.
So suddenly you have a music, right? You double click, you want to play the music. So it will use the default applications. If you want to open photo, it will open via photo viewer. Let's say some picture, you double click, how it's going to open. It needs, you may have multiple options, but default applications, with that you'll be able to open.
Okay.
Okay, like one video online or somewhere you browsing and you want to play that video, how that video will open, what will be your default browser. So these things is very important. You need to know how to fix these default applications. For example, now let me check if I got any other. I got like group music. This is another player. So if I select that one, my music player is now group music. Okay, maybe
Okay.
maybe many different scenario. Customers say, I don't want this, every time they open the applications is open with Microsoft Edge, right? So they don't want that. They want like Google Chrome. So you need to fix this one. Like my default.
On our what we want to open it, it's choose the app by itself,
Yes.
which okay.
Yeah. Correct. Currently, like let's say if you click sometimes some file you want to open, they open with like Microsoft Edge. Maybe you don't want that, you want like Google Chrome. So this is the place where you can set up the default app. Like I have Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, and Google Chrome. So I got 4 browser, but which one is my default? That's up to me. I can select from here. Mine one is Google because I don't want other browser. And other things, update and security. Over there we have for developers. See, when you click for developers, we have multiple options. Install apps from any source, including loose files. You need to turn it on. Say yes. If you turn it on, then you'll have options to deploy that applications. Okay. So this is the options we have. This interface is slightly bit different, but currently we have, this is the current interface we have. We go to settings, then update and security for developers, right? We have these options. With the PowerShell command, many different way developer will be able to deploy. Now a bit of discussions about the web browsers. Web browsers in Windows 10. We have Internet Explorer 11 and Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge browser, managing extensions, Microsoft Edge productivity features, Internet Explorer, and some security stuffs around that. So we're going to discuss few things about Microsoft Edge and Internet Explorer. We are not using much, so we'll just quickly review the things in here. So Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge, we have 2 different browser.
Like Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge, like Google Chrome.
Yes.
Same. But
Same,
we normally use a Chrome. So Microsoft Edge is good or Google Chrome is good?
Microsoft Internet Explorer is one of the old, browser. We have used that one a lot. After that, over the time, Google Chrome get very popular.
Yeah.
And now we're using
everyone is Google Chrome.
Everyone is using the Google Chrome because it's probably easy to, find the informations. Search options is very good, user friendly. There's a lot of advantage. But Microsoft Edge, maybe or Explorer interface is a bit different, which many people don't like. So it depends on individual choice. But Windows 10, we have the default
Microsoft Edge.
Default browser is Microsoft Edge, correct? Right, so it's not that popular, but you need to know some informations around that. Okay, this is the browser information. So we'll see the browser in details. Extensions. Extension means some of the applications you can add extensions in the Microsoft. So that's Microsoft Edge. So that's one of the good things. Also, like in Google Chrome, you can do as well. You can add some extensions. Microsoft Edge productivity features. So App management, paste and go, improve battery life, Windows Hello authentications, website notifications, OneDrive synchronizations, reading view, full screen. You can use as like a PDF reader as well, EPUB reader as well. So that may be good things. You can use this one as like a EPUB reader. EPUB is another you know applications like PDF. With that you can read stuffs, read the books easily. Internet Explorer, security zone. So let's have a look few things around that. Compatibility view, enterprise mode. Okay, let's have a look in details these stuffs. So Microsoft Edge settings is this side. When it goes to that side, oh, okay, you can hit here. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay. So this is the Microsoft Edge we have. Easily you can use the browser. Oops. Yep. Usually you can use this one. It has many other stuffs. Edge needs additional information to securely display your enterprise news content sign-ins. Okay, so that's different things. And this is related with Office. But pretty much what you can do, favorites means you can add this one to kind of like a bookmark. You can add some particular things inside your favorites. Favorites bar. Yeah, over there you can save some informations. We in Google Chrome usually we use the bookmark, but this is favorites. Okay. After that, this is one of the extensions we have added last time. This is a kind of like a ad blocker. After that, you can see your favorites. Favorites is just all of your bookmarks. Okay. If you want to have some more things on the right hand side, you can use these options. Now if you go to these settings, if you want to see the history, you can see the history from here. You can go your favorites. So favorites got the favorites got the all the bookmarks and all these things. You can download a page. You can manage some online applications if you have some of them. We have extensions. If you click on extensions, extension means some additional additional applications, web-based applications you'll be able to add. I have like a couple of them, LastPass and AdGuard. Ad blocker actually, yeah. Get extensions for Microsoft Edge. If you click here, it will give you many options. Like a Dashlane. Dashlane is a password manager software. You can use that one. There's a Grammarly, like if you want to correct the sentence or word. There are many other small, like a Zoom applications, Office applications. If you want to add, you can add these extensions. Microsoft is editor, so this is like a spell check or something like that. Okay, spelling and grammar check. Probably this is free. You can add. So that means in online, if you're writing something and if you have some issues, you can use this one. So this is a good one. I'll get this one, and I can add this one as like extensions. Just checking at the moment. Yes. See, now I got this one. All this is work with Office 365, but I don't want to log in now. But this is the stuffs. Spelling, grammar, you can enable this one. To add grammar checking, sign into your editors. So, but spelling, it can, if you do some online things, if you fill up some, informations, if you have some spell issues, it can, correct that one. Like that. Many other applications we can add. I have like, 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. This is like a quick browser based applications we can add in the browser. So when you receive a call from customers may have many different issues. Even if you may not think about those stuffs, but they come as like a issues. Okay, so this is the extensions. You can print from online. Some more tools. You can save. Save the page. After that, you have a settings options. If I click on settings, now privacy settings, profile, you can update your profile, pictures, like I got my profile, I have a pictures, one of my account is deleted, is not syncing. You can manage the account, you can enable the syncing. Syncing means if you have multiple device and if you logged in with this account, all of your favorites, the browser settings, it will reflect over there. So exactly same settings you'll have in another computers. Personal informations, right? Then payment info. You can add credit card and stuff. So in this way, when you purchase any online things, you can pay from here. You don't have to type again and again. So these are the stuffs we have. Import browser data. All these things you can import for investigations or something. And passwords. So password is, see, all the banking and all the password actually stores in your browser. So if you use the browsers, they actually save the password over there. Majority of the cases, Google Chrome also saving the password in here. Okay, so this is the options we have. So all the passwords. So sometimes you need to be careful about that, because all the website password, never saved or saved password, all these things we have in here. So you don't have to put the password again, but sometimes it's a security issues. If somebody else using your computer, they can find out the password from your web browser. So you need to be careful about that. Sometimes you need to clear the browsing data. If you have any conflict, if you can't log into particular sites, it could be cache. So those cache, sometimes you need to remove. Manage your data. Yeah, so basically you can choose what to clear. Choose what to clear every time you close the browser. You can do this one. Then there are many other, what kind of font you want, how you're going to open this one. There are many other, basic informations. Default browser, which they're saying this is compatible. Download location. So when you download something, where do you want to download all these things from online? Default is like, see the download folders, but if you want, you can change from here. This is very good features. Activity reports, see what websites your kids are visiting on Microsoft Edge, what they search from on Bing. You can see all this stuff. Content filters, keep bad stuff away from filtering out inappropriate websites or Microsoft Edge searches on Bing. So there are few good stuffs they have. Manage printers. So if you would like to add printers in the browser, you can add as well. What will be your default printer? You can add as well. Now, system, many other stuffs we have in here, but reset settings is important, because let's say if your browser is not functioning well and your user may have many issues, if it is not functioning properly and if user finds some conflict in the browser, you can completely restore settings to their default values. So if you do this one in this way, it will your browser will set back to factory reset that mode. Sometimes if you want to see the informations, versions number, you can see the versions 64-bit. All this information you're going to see. So browser, this is the browser based settings need to be managed, and people usually have many issues with this browser. And Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer, Microsoft will stop supporting some point. It's not, very popular. Used to be very popular, but now we are not using much. But Internet Explorers, again, we have a favorites, home button, settings button. Yeah. Oh, there's another thing called in private browsing. In private browsing, if you click that one, it will create a private browsing, right? If you create the private browsing, like your informations will not keep track. It will not save your informations. For example, you browse some particular sites, or you are purchasing something, or put some credit card details and stuff like that. It's private browsing means it will not keep track any of your informations. It's a private. So that's a very good options we have. View, download, manage add-ons, compatibility, view settings. Yeah. Internet options. So this one you can use. It's pretty similar to Microsoft Edge, but it's not that popular. Microsoft will stop supporting some point because they want everyone to use this Microsoft Edge. And Microsoft Edge, we have a private browsing. See the in private window. If I click on that one, this is private. See the black screen? This is a in private. You are browsing in private. Private means it's kind of whatever you do in here, there'll be no track of those systems. People from outside, they'll not be able to track. It's a private. because many different scenario. Let's say if you're looking at someone's some company's website, they will be able to find out that who from which IP or from which locations they viewed the company websites. But if you do in private browsing, they'll not be able to find out. So private browsing is one of the good options we have. Many people using the private browsing. Okay, so that's another good steps. All right, so this is the pretty much information you need to manage from our apps, Windows applications and browser.